Okay, Khalid, so you've been fortunate enough to travel and you've been fortunate enough to work in different roles regionally and internationally. So specifically around that, so a lot of people aspire to be to have the opportunities that you have had. So if you could just as advice, talk about how it is different to work across markets and how do you actually start off with? I mean, how do you what kind of skills do you need to prepare yourself for that kind of a role?
Yeah, so again, a great question. Um, I think working in multiple markets gives you a complete different exposure and gives you a new dimension to managing businesses compared to just handling one market. Because you're talking about different stakeholders, talking about different consumers, talking about different cultures, talking about different insights. So there's a whole ecosystem that's different. I would highly encourage individuals, young individuals, people who are in their mid-careers, to get an opportunity to work in multiple markets as and when they can. Find opportunity within the organizations that they're in, or even outside, to see that they're able to get that exposure. Um, I personally, being from Pakistan, clearly believe that Pakistanis are very smart and they're very intelligent. And I have had the opportunity to work with multiple nationalities. And I have no doubt in my mind that I have strong belief in Pakistani talent, especially in the area of marketing. They, we are somehow born with it. And every time I meet a youngster, a student who's studying marketing or one of those young graduates who've started their careers, I'm every time surprised and pleasantly surprised to see the whole mindset of talent in Pakistan. What needs to do is to make sure that we're able to get our grounding right in the right organization that we work in, so we're able to pick up the right learning that we need for marketing, because it's important for us to be in the right environment, and it's important for us to work with the right people and right leaders. These two are key, and a lot of times we don't tend to make choices based on these two criteria. I always would ask them to weigh this. Once they're in that organization and they've got their basic grounding right, they should find opportunities to look at doing the same role or a different role, but for different markets and different set of consumers. What happens is it automatically puts you in a discomfort zone, because you're moving away from your own home country, you're moving away from where you've been very comfortable with. You've picked up the basic learning sets, and then now you're going and applying it in new markets. What you'll realize is that ability of working with multiple cultures is something that you'll get a lot more exposure on when you start working abroad. Um, you're a bit on your own. That whole support system starts getting mitigated, and you're pretty much out there independently making a lot of those choices and decisions. So the whole ability of managing change, managing cultural diversity, be able to pick up the learning skills that we've picked up and apply that for an environment which is different to yours. So when you work in a country like Bangladesh, for example, you'd realize that majority of the population is not very prosperous, and a lot of them are really focused on getting their basic needs right. The minute you move to markets like the US, or you move to markets like Singapore, or markets in Europe, you'd realize that prosperity levels are higher, and the need states, while probably are the same, your ability for people to purchase products, to purchase brands, are very different. The education level is very different, and that whole ecosystem that you get exposed with is an amazing set of learning for people. So to answer your question, yes, I've been very fortunate to get that opportunity, and I thank Allah for that. In addition to thank all the leaders that I work with, I would urge people to pick up learnings from multiple markets and multiple countries, because that's something it's you cannot get it. You can't get it from anything else except for actually doing it. What one needs to do is to ensure that you've got strong functional skill capability before you start making those moves. because you don't want to be caught off guard by being low on competence and be on your own and try to prove yourself. Yes, you can pick up those functional skills abroad as well, but it's good to start with whichever organization you're with, either here or wherever, to get those learning sets right before we start exploring outside. One needs a lot of openness towards diversity, a lot of openness towards cultural differences, and to be able to understand the dynamics of what is it that ticks in an organization and what is it that ticks with stakeholders, shoppers, retailers, consumers, which could be very different from one country to the other. So overall, yes, great experience. Urge youngsters to get it, to make sure that by design they're able to pick that up, and ensure that they have the flexibility to be able to go into a discomfort zone, which pushes them to a point of new learnings, which they wouldn't be able to unless they're in that discomfort zone. Having said all of that, I do not want to discourage people who want to build careers by not going into multiple countries because of either personal reasons or whatever the reasons may be. There are a lot of opportunity of learning even within a country that you're in, and then you can continue to grow. And I know many people who've not moved abroad and are very successful people. So yes, so I don't want to discourage that either. But from my personal perspective, if you really want to, depends on what you want to do and what objectives you have in your as your goals. But if you want to make a big difference and make a difference at a bigger map, then it definitely helps us to get exposure, learnings that we can actually go and first learn and then second reapply into multiple markets. So that's my broad conclusion on that.
So Khalid, Khalis Alvi Marketing Next it's a bit of a thing here in Pakistan, and it's controversial. People love it, people hate it, people love to hate it, And but what? Let's get back to the roots of it. What was the purpose? Why did you put it in place to start off with?
Okay, so firstly, thank you for giving me the feedback of both the love and hate, and I think that's very healthy because eventually it's that association that you build with a particular platform that helps it to grow. What I realized after spending more than 20 years of professional life, that in Pakistan there aren't strong marketing forums which allows and incubates thinking towards strengthening capability, skills, getting the exposure and information in the area of marketing, especially for youngsters and young graduates and young career marketers. So me and a few friends, like-minded friends, we sat down together and we said, why don't we create a forum that actually allows students, teachers, young graduates, senior leaders to be a part of and in a way contribute back to the society. So this forum was only predominantly created to provide a platform for learning, provide a platform for practical application of marketing and branding in Pakistan, and allow them to be more equipped to make better decisions. And that was a broad objective behind it. When we further double click from that, what we wanted to do is pick up separate topics and provide a good branding solution to those certain topics that we can actually create as capsules and provide that to people who really need it. And let me give you a few examples. If you want to become a big brand in music, and if you want to be a big singer, there are some essentials that you need from a marketing standpoint. You don't find any of those essentials anywhere. If you find a lot of talent out, and all they're looking for is some direction in terms of how can they become big and how can they become a strong brand. So the idea is let's get a great capsule in to understand how they can become a strong, musically branded brand in this country. When we go back into all the musical brands, maybe from the days of Mehndi Hasan to Vital Signs, to Junoon, to Nusrat Fateh Ali, you'll realize that while they may not have thought through a marketing way of building their own brand, if you go back and do a retrospect assessment of what happened and what made them big, there are clear marketing principles which are applicable and apply. A lot of people go out and don't understand these principles, and they try to make it big, and they won't ever make it big because those essential principles are critical and key for them to become big. In the case of music, you want to become a strong entrepreneur and open a digital company. you want to become a strong brand in gold, in jewelry. We want to become, we want to build Pakistan as a great country brand. There are essentials that are needed. So what we wanted to do was to get the expertise within the country, and we have a lot of that talent in this country, and put all that thoughts together, put their learnings together into this whole forum of Khalis Alvi Marketing Next, and be able to provide that assistance and guidance in terms of using those as guiding principles for them to build a brand that they want to build. Did we progress very well? I think we started fairly well. Have we got more capsules? The answer is no. But that's the broad direction. Provide a forum which allows youngsters, people who aspire to build strong brands, either of themselves or of their businesses, to get a ready guideline which is created by not me, but created by not any one particular person, but created by experts within Pakistan and even abroad, to be able to give that input in terms of how do you make yourself into a good brand. And let me give you another example. When we're talking about music, if you want to be a strong music brand and you want to make it very big, you need to know how to sing. And if we think that we can make it very big without singing, I don't believe you can build a very sustainable brand for long term. So you need to be good in what you do. And likewise, you need good product, and you need to have the right basic fundamentals of making that product reach people. And there are ways that can actually happen in a fairly structured way. So I thought that was missing. So that's what me and my friends who were like-minded, we thought we'd create this forum and start. With the grace of God, we've got strong membership. We got fairly high engagement in terms of dialogues that happen in that forum. What we want to make sure is that people are able to love it, even the ones who hate it. Over a period of time, they're able to appreciate it and have some love out of that hatred, and be able to contribute back to people. It is not about me, and it is not about that forum. It is about everybody contributing, having a role to play in imparting knowledge and experiences to the youngsters, and to ones who actually need it, even not the youngsters, even senior people who really need it. And that's the forum that we created.